Welcome to the latest edition of the Purple Sofa podcast. I'm Andy Steele.
And I'm Lewis Blake.
We're doing a slightly different podcast today. We're going to try and save somebody's life. And this is really on the back of Lewis sending a video around to everybody in our team explaining how to use an EpiPen. Have I got that right?
Yeah.
And why Lewis carries an EpiPen and the sort of things that you should look out for or not do when somebody in your business suffers from allergies. So I really appreciate you doing this and being so open to. We're going to ask some quite personal questions. If you're not comfortable answering any of the questions, then obviously just flag up. But so tell us about your allergies.
So I'm allergic to pecan nuts and walnuts, and I found this out by having a scratch test done at not Hull Royal, the Castle Hill one. And all a scratch test is essentially they get tiny little pieces of the nuts and they'll pop it under your skin. And if it swells up, you're allergic to it. Pecan nuts, I'm not viciously, we'll say, allergic to them. So I could probably have a pecan nut and just feel a bit ill, and that'd be about it. But walnuts, when they tested that, my whole, a big chunk of my arm blew up from the tiniest bit of the walnut.
Wow.
And it shows how dramatic the body can react to it, because an allergy is essentially your body recognizing that piece of food as a threat. So then your body tries to get rid of it, whether it's vomiting, whether it's coming through rashes. Lots and lots can happen. I've had a few incidents in the past. I had a cake actually packed with walnuts once. I didn't realise. The person I asked said there was no nuts in it. I trusted them. I had it, and then I started uncontrollably shaking. I was throwing up. I had a rash all over my skin. I couldn't talk. I couldn't really do much. And it was awful. It really, really was awful. And that went on for hours.
That must be very scary for you and also anyone.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, my mum was terrified.
So what made you have the scratch test? Was it on the back of that?
It happened to be that when I was growing up, it was only walnuts around. So it just happened to be the only nuts I would have was the ones I was most allergic to. But then when I was at school, someone gave me a Kinder Bueno, and obviously that has hazelnuts in it, but I didn't realise. So I had it, and I had no reaction whatsoever. So that then led me to the question, well, why am I reacting to one nut and not the other? So I had a little Google around, and it said about the scratch test. So I spoke to my GP, and he said, let's do a scratch test and find out what specific nut it is.
So in terms of adjustments that we've made to the workplace, we've put signs up in kitchens, fridges, etc., reminding people not to bring pecans and walnuts into the building. Every time we have a new starter, we flag that up to them. We've sent videos around telling people what to do if they see you struggling. Mm-hmm. That moves us on to the EpiPen. So, under what circumstances would you administer this to yourself?
If I was capable, essentially, because you're not always capable of doing it, which is why the video showing people how to use it was so important, because when I actually first got that, no one told me how to use it. So even I didn't know. I just expected other people to know, which not many people do.
No.
I don't think any of my friends do. It's not something you learn from school. It's not something you would really look into unless you're actually allergic. It was only when I had the scratch test that they asked if I knew how to use it, and that's where I got that training kit from. But if I was within sound mind and I couldn't breathe and I needed it, I could administer it to myself.
Yeah. What if you can't?
I would rely on someone else.
Yeah. So where do you? So is this always on your person? Is it in your
Yes,
pocket?
it's in my bag.
So what if you were walking down the street and you saw somebody struggling?
Hmm.
How would you know? How would you know to look for one of these?
Because it's not you can't really see what's going on other than the reaction. So like when you've got a cold, you know someone's got a cold because they've got a runny nose or they've got a sore throat. With an allergy, you can see them shaking, they can't breathe. That you can tell there's something really, really going on, and it's such a fatal condition to have if you don't treat it. It can kill people very easily. It can block up airways. It's really, really savage. But if you saw someone struggling with it, you would be able to see it because they'll be on the floor, not breathing, shaking, maybe a rash, sweating, um, just very visually struggling,
Yeah,
and you won't be able to attribute it to anything
yeah.
else.
So if you see someone in the street doing that, you'd ring 999 or get someone else to ring 999. But are we saying you'd sort of search the pockets, etc., to see if they've got one of those on them?
Um, Ideally, so what I got given was a card to say I'm an EpiPen carrier,
Yeah,
and on that card it has an emergency contact,
yeah,
but it also says where I keep my EpiPen.
yeah,
That's in my wallet.
yeah,
So if someone was in that situation, I would probably check for a wallet,
yeah,
see if I can spot one of those cards. It might be in the back of their phone,
yeah,
because it should be somewhere visible
yeah,
or somewhere you could easily locate
yeah,
it. A lot of the times, people will look for a wallet for an ID to see who it
yeah,
is. Um, so that's when they'll see my EpiPen card,
yeah.
and it shows exactly where it is.
Okay.
If they didn't have that, then yes, I'd have a little look around. If I can't find anything, it's just 999.
So you find an EpiPen on someone.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with it?
So this plastic casing is just to protect wherever you store it. So you open up the casing and take out the actual EpiPen itself. This is a real one, so I can't show you exactly, but there's instructions on the front of it as well. But you just pull out this blue cap and hammer it
So
down.
does the blue cap come off?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it pops off very easily. It's got
yeah,
like a small plastic bit in the middle that goes straight in, and then these are just clips that you can hold on to and pull out. And it does tell you on the front. I don't know if you can.
I ain't got my glasses on, unfortunately, but so yeah, pull off blue safety cap. You're gonna have to read that. I ain't got my glasses on. What's it say underneath it?
And it says hold orange tip approx 10 centimeters from outer thigh.
From outer
And
thigh,
yeah,
right?
it can be any chunk of fat, essentially.
Yeah,
It just needs to be a bit of fat, not
yeah.
bone, not muscle. And then you jab firmly, listen for the click, wait a few seconds, release, call 999 immediately.
Stupid question, but do you do it through the trousers?
You can. If they
What
had
if it's
like,
thick jeans? Would you
you would have
maybe?
to, I would then go for an arm,
Right.
pull up the arm,
Yeah.
go into grab
So it's
the loose
somewhere with a bit of
bit of blubber.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then yeah, it even says at the bottom to dial 999 straight away.
yeah.
Because it's life saving, but it's very harsh on the body. So if you didn't have anaphylaxis and you took this, that could kill you as well. Because it's adrenaline, which is
Right.
why you only use it in life saving
Yeah.
situations.
Okay. And have you had to use that on yourself before?
Thankfully not.
Right.
I've never had this administered to myself.
Yeah. So I suppose business owners should always know whether there's anyone in their business that suffers from allergies. And I suppose if there are people that do suffer with them, they need to find out whether or not they carry an EpiPen. And
Yeah.
if they do, make sure that all of the team know what to do if something
Does go wrong,
happens
yeah.
and it needs administering. Um, do they teach this on first aid courses? No. That's odd.
It is quite odd, but I wonder if that's because there's instructions on the pen, and if you've got it, you get taught how to use it.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming if you've got an allergy, you teach your family, immediate family, how.
Yeah.
I mean, they would be interested anyway,
Yeah.
but they would know.
But you often spend more time at your workplace than you do
Yeah.
with your family, don't
Yeah.
you? So it's clearly really important that there's education out there so that everybody in the business knows what to do.
Absolutely, it can be fatal otherwise.
Okay, thank you. It's the end of this special edition of the 360 Purple Sofa podcast. If you don't have any questions on the back of that, get in touch and I'm sure Lewis would be more than
Absolutely.
happy to help. Thank you.